Okay, today we're going to be playing a new game I found. It's called Islanders. It is not a game about building cities. Well, it is a game about building cities, but it doesn't work in the same way. It's actually a strategy game. There are different blocks in the game which get negative points or positive points. And you have to get to the next level, then you get a plus sign, and that means you get a pack, which includes a bunch of buildings. No resources needed. And if you don't get to the next level and you run out of buildings, then the game's over. So if we just start a new world in high score mode. High score mode is basically just like survival mode, sandbox mode where you have everything. Usually in games, I usually think that sandbox mode is more fun. So use right click like this to move. Use WSD, you can move like this, or you can just use the left click. Hold down left click and then you can drag your mouse around, or hold down right click and then you can turn around something. Now this is the island. You can place certain things here and only certain things. Some things you cannot place on this thin land. There are also these expanding islands. You can place them on there, but I won't recommend it unless you're advanced and you have plateaus going toward it. So when you hit the plus, you'll get one of these packs. It's okay if you don't get the farming pack and the lumber pack. There's also the shaman pack, the mason pack. There's a bunch of packs. There's a plateau pack. There's a bunch of packs. So it doesn't matter which packs you get. So you can pick any of these. I'm going to pick the farming pack. And as you can see, we get some buildings. When we get to 20, we get a new plus option. So this is a mill. This is base score 8. That means if nothing's interacting with it, it gets 8 points. And it says it gets a bonus for every nearby statue, it gets 5 more points. For every nearby warehouse, it gets 5 more points. For every nearby field, it gets 4 more points. For every nearby city center, it gets 3 more points. And for every mason in range, it gets 2 points. Usually, things like this, they interact with each other and they lose points. And it says loses 20 points for any other mills in range. Now this is a bubble. This bubble is the range of things will affect it, either positive or negative. So once you place it, you gain 8 immediately. Also, is your fields. Fields give them 2 and mills give them 5. Statues give them 5. Plateaus give them 3. Resort oasis gives them 3. So you see, and their base score is 3. So 3 plus 5 is 8. And then you put another one as 10 because it's 2 plus 5 plus 3. And once you reach the next level, you get another plus option. And then you can do this again. This is basically how the game works. We'll just show some other things. That is the farming pack, the mill, and the fields. We're going to do the brewing pack this time. Sometimes you get things from for other packs, from different packs, but that's okay. All that means is that you need to find somewhere to place them. Also, as you can see here, it's 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5, which is 12. And then it's 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 is 14. And then, as you can see here, the bubble isn't goes far enough to reach this one. This is where strategy comes in. You have to place it in the area where you get the most points. Currently, it's still here. Okay, now it's time for the brewery pack. So if we place it right here, you can see we have hop fields. Now hop fields contribute to the brewery pack. They also do contribute a little bit to the mills. So now, as you can see, we reach another level, and you can have another plus. Now, the more you get, the more advanced you get. You go from the lumber and the farming to the brewery and some lumber. And then you get to city packs, and then you get to plateaus, and then you get to towers. There is also this natural statue which will spawn somewhere in your map. For now, I'm going to get the city pack. And this is the city center. Its base score is 15, and it gets 5 from statues, 7 from fishers, which is my name, by the way. And there's statues for 5, as I said. Masons have 4, mills do 2, seaweed farms do 2. Okay, so if we just place it right here, its base score is 15 plus 5. These are masons. They're not the same as mason. I know it's very, very confusing, but they're not the same. So as you can see, I don't really like masons, but that's just my opinion. That's because they don't contribute points with things that I normally use. Rats, we don't have room for a house. So when we can fix that is we can destroy that and we can put it here. Then we can put our house here. As you can see, we get 11 points. Now, then you might get the shaman. I don't recommend getting it because I don't like it. That's because it doesn't interact with things that I like. It gets negative points for most things I use. But let's just get it anyway so I can show you. So it gets 5 for statues, 5 for temples, 3 for flower, and 2 for the seaweed field. Lose points for every mason, city, center, and shaman in range. That is my problem with it. Also, yes, it gets points from these flowers. These are flowers. So as you can see, there are a lot of flowers down here. And if we place it, look, we got 30 points. We already have a plus button, so we can be greedy and we can get a bunch of more buildings. Okay. The shaman also the shaman, I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. Okay. So if we put it here, you see it gets 17 points. It gets some from this and some from this. Also, once you get enough points, you get the opportunity to go to another island. This, you'll keep the same score, but you'll be able to start fresh. We're not going to do that yet, though, because we want to show you things. Okay, so if we just put this here again, and then we put a mason. Also, look, we got another field. We can put it here. Another thing is scroll on your mouse to rotate the fields. There we go. We can put another mason. Also, you can see also gets 6 points from the shaman. Again, sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. And the house. The great thing about the mansion and the house is that they build on each other. They each gain from being closer together. As you can see, if we place it down there, we get 9. And then you'll start getting a fountain, then you'll get a park, then you'll finally get a plateau. These are good placed in the middle of cities. So if we just go over here, as you can see, we got 16 points, but it's quite a lot. Not like a lot, but quite a lot. And then we got another mason. I'm also sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I don't know how you name buildings. House. There we go. As you saw. Now, then you'll get to hut. Something to get lucky and you get the plateau early. So if we just put our fisher there, then we can put our hut. As you can see, huts came from sometimes some industry they came from, and some city they came from. They're like an in-between. They're not completely city and they're not completely fields. As you can see here, things can get a bit cramped, which is why placing is key. So yes, then you'll get the park. The park will basically disbenefit from anything that's like work. They also benefit from fields. As you saw there, the mill will disbenefit. The huts don't benefit from each other, but they're very small and convenient to place. In fact, they're so convenient to place, I'm sure I can place them right there. Okay. We have to place our mason here, even though we only get 1 point. The base score for a mason is 1 point, which means they're not very good on their own. They don't perform very well. As you can see here, if you place it in just the right spot, you can get it. Finally, you can get the plateau. Now, these can be placed on water, and that's the main thing you'll use it for because they're pretty big compared to anything else, and they'll be hard to position on. So if we just go here, we can place it there. Then we can create a whole new city. By the way, hut's base score is 4. So let's just move this closer to civilization. Good. Also, plateau's base score is 0. So we can just put there. As you can see, the hut benefits. The hut benefits from the mill. So I can't place it here. Can I place it here? No. Can I place it here? Yup. There. That's park. Then you can put mansion. Then another house. Then another house. Now, if you do this and you get stuck, then you'll be forced to go to your next island. On your next island, if you get stuck like this, it will end the game and your high score will get uploaded. As you can see, I can't buy any buildings, so if we go back, if we go to a new island, there we go. You can see it's a new landscape, and also, as you can see, depending on the landscape, you'll get different things. This is a good time to show the brick industry. It's another thing. Brickyard's base score is 6, and sand pit's base score is 9, and it gets a bonus for every nearby statue and brickyard. So as you can see, there's a statue back there. So if we take a sand pit, the sand pit benefits from statues and brickyards too. So we put it there, and then let's place it here. So this is why placing things in the correct places is key. Another thing about sand pits is they can only be placed on these low parts of the world. Then you can see the brickyard can benefit from both of them and the statue. then you can get a lot of points. Next one, the Mason. There are two Masons, the Mason and the Mason. Masons benefit from brickyards, statues, warehouses, towers, markets, city centers, plateaus, and temples and walls. So if we just put here, you can see we get 16. Another thing is their base score is 9-2, just like the sandpit. There you go. And also the Mason can only be placed on high ground, like here. Not on these low parts, like the sandpit. So as you can see, we get 13 if we put here. And then we can put another brick industry here. And then you can put a sand pit here. And as you can see, if you place it in very key parts, then you can get a lot of points from it. So as you see here, I built a pretty solid park. Also, depending on how many trees, flowers, and rocks you have, it depends. It changes the way you spend your levels. As you can see here, we don't have a lot of trees, so we wouldn't want to get the lumber pack. But city packs are perfect. As you can see, we got a whole 32 points from that. And then we can start up here again. As you can see, and remember, they build on each other. Oh, another thing, I keep repeating this just so you will remember it and never forget. Placing is key, really key, as you can see there. There we go, 10. And you can just keep doing this. Also, the selection is random, but higher grade things are higher chance of happening when you go high. And also some certain things you don't unlock until you get through a few of these packs. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new too. And make sure to like and subscribe to never miss another video.